strong champion with the Chain of Corruption. Been able to look for pick potential and massive kill pressure once you do hit level 6. Of course, that is going to be counterpicked by the Tristana. We've basically seen this just go back and forth. There's Tristana and Kog'Maw, but after these Kog'Maw nerfs, you don't see him picked as much anymore. Still prevalent in the meta, though. Definitely do have to say, and that is going to be the Tristana getting locked in. We'll have to see what they pick up in their second pick here for the red side.
Yeah, we definitely want to see probably more of a tanky jungle, I feel. In this meta right now, we have a lot of squishy tops and mids. So there's probably might be a tanky side on the jungle, but you never know. They can get an assassin to really try to harden on that Varus because he's such an immobile type of AD carry.
And most definitely, but he does. You do have to remember there is so much self-peel with that Chain of Corruption, and of course you can draft champions such as a Lulu or an Alistar with him, and it can be absolutely devastating to your game. But it will be the Gnar getting picked up here. Pretty safe pick. They are going to grab. Greg is going to get locked in here for the blue side, most likely in the jungle. Don't see it top too much anymore, but it still can be flexed. Can't forget about that.
Yeah, definitely. And the Gnar, the Gragas, I don't know how well Gragas would go into a Gnar. That's definitely an interesting pick. It seems like it's probably going to be a jungle just because of how quick they picked it on there, but you never know. They could have a magical Grog that could somehow take down this Gnar top if they do choose to take it there.
Yeah, but I definitely do expect it in the jungle spot, and of course that is going to be the Maokai getting locked in. So Maokai into the Gnar, not too good of a matchup really, drafting what looks to be a losing lane and looking more for their comp-wise. This could be the Nunu pickup though. That's amazing with Tristana.
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting setup here. They're definitely going to be going for more hit-and-run tactics here, not trying to prolong too much of a fight. Or they're definitely going to try to wait and try to combo it with that Gnar ult when he gets right into his hyper, gets the ult off, and then Tristana and Nunu can come in. Either going to maybe combo like a Gnar ult into a Nunu ult, and I could definitely see an interesting play that you have with that so far.
Yep, and of course, as we do get to our second ban rotation, the Kassadin is going to get taken away from Defeisty here. Not going to let him get this late game, really assassin-style comp for the Kassadin to jump directly onto that Tristana and for sure Lulu going to get taken away as well. Not going to opt and try and see that Tristana Lulu lane because it can be absolutely brutal with the shields, the wild growth, and the polymorph to be able to deny that Maokai or Gragas from getting on top of your ADC. So just going to take that one away.
Yeah, it's definitely. You can see that they're really targeting the more intense ban. They're banning the more prevalent champions that you would see in the LCS right now. Those people that can really pull and carry a game. And there you see Alistar being banned on the red side as well. That's going to be another. There goes that whole combo that we were saying with the Varus, being able to have somebody real tanky next to him that can hold down and keep him there as that arrow charged up. So it's going to be interesting what kind of support the blue side will be pulling out for this Varus.
Yeah, support pools are getting pinched here. Azir is going to be the final ban. Aldemir Gore not going to allow him to get that. Not going to try and give him this scaling team comp. Of course, Azir going to get taken away as well from these recent Nunu buffs we did have. Being able to apply extra AP damage on hit with Syndra just so well with Azir soldiers is going to get denied.
Yeah, but now we have Osama picking for the red side. They're going to be seeing what they want to have as their Tom Kench. Interesting. I like that. Tom Kench is a really good support in my opinion. I feel he's got a great kick for both CC, locking down enemy to AD carry, but also saving their own AD carry. It's a great overall pick, and I love it when they unbench the Kench.
Yep, the Kench has been unbenched, and we will see what he can do in his swamp as we do get into these final picks for the blue side. Definitely probably going to see a very laid-back support. I expect something along the lines of a Janna, but that will be Brand. Could be a flex between mid. We still have to see what Imperial Trinity is going to lock in here. What are you expecting?
I'm thinking it's going to be something on the lines that could probably deal a little more damage, like an Orianna. Someone that can get that CC, everyone can get in the center. Orianna, I can already see it. Orianna puts her ball right onto Maokai. Maokai goes in, locks down one of them. Ori ults. Brand then finishes them off with his own ult, and everybody gets nailed and skewered by Varus's arrows. I can definitely see this coming along for the blue side.
Yeah, of course, there's that hail of arrows, and you don't see Brand support that often anymore, but it is going to get picked up. And with the Chain of Corruption into a full Brand combo, it can be disgusting, and it can do so much damage in this lane. But once again, you have to remember, they really have this protect the Tristana comp. There's Tom Kench can literally just eat her out of the chain of corruption. So they have to look to comp out on Teddy Eddie on this Tom Kench. Try and get on top of him, because Tristana has this free escape from Tom Kench every time.
Yeah, and you can definitely see that the potential on both sides, it's insane. We have more of a sustained red side compared to that burst attack damage, burst AP damage on the blue side. So it's definitely going to be a battle of the wits. I feel like blue's going to need to probably try to take it in the early game, because everybody on the red side is a lot of late game based champs that will just start to steamroll if they get too much out of the hand.
Yeah, but we are 5 seconds left in the loading screen. We're 5 seconds left into our 3-minute spectator delay, rather. Let's take a look at each of these matchups and go over them a little bit. Let's start up in the top lane. We got the Blind Nerd versus Zia Delta. In that Malkite, in that Gnar, how do you feel about this one? How do you think it's going to go?
I feel like the Gnar is going to be definitely dominant in the early game, but if they get ganks, I feel like Maokai could definitely stay and be able to sustain. And once they get to the mid game, it's all up to basically Maokai trying to get down and help his other lane and just make sure he doesn't lose his lane. I don't think he's going to try to win it. He's not necessarily just kind of going to keep even and wait for that mid to late game where he actually shines the most.
We'll have to see how it goes. So we still are slowly loading in. And let's take a look at the Gragas and Nunu next. We have what really... Nunu has had risen in popularity. Haven't seen him around too much recently, though. And then you have the Gragas, of course, which you haven't seen, really. Maybe look for big casket plays with the Tristana. He could look, but we'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah, I definitely think that the Nunu is going to be more of trying to get that jungle steal. They're going to be trying to get into the enemy blue team jungle, trying to get those camps before he does. And it's definitely going to put a lot of pressure on Gragas. So he's definitely going to have to look out for that one. And then next we have down in the mid lane, we have Orianna versus Galio, and that's a normal kind of like picks right nowadays. You got Galio versus Orianna. Orianna's of course going to have that poke damage, but the Galio on the other hand, once he gets that mid game and he gets that ult, everything changes. He becomes such a mobile mage. I even hesitate calling him a mage just because of how much pure damage he does, even though he builds tanky. It's just going to be very interesting to see who's going to basically be able to use their ult to the best.
Yeah, and then let's take a look at the mid lane rather now. We got the Feisty and Migar on the Galio and Orianna. Of course, what really is just kind of what will probably be a farm lane. You know, you're going to have people running around the map. Orianna brought heal to the Galio's pretty much triple TP for his team, with the heroic entrance as well. You can't forget about that. But you have the Feisty. Will he be able to hit some shockwaves? It's really going to be crucial for the middle lane.
Yeah, definitely. And then down in the bot lane, we have Varus versus Tristana, and that's another simple farm lane. But both of them have such a long range of like poke potential that it's just going to slowly be nicking away at each other. And again, what I said just with the top, the ganks is what's going to be really determining some of these lanes and how their outcomes will be.
Yep, and let's take a look at the bottom lane. Last second with 30 seconds left on that spectator lane. We got Varus Brand versus Tristana and Tom Kench. How do you feel about this one? How do I really feel like Varus and Brand can get ahead, but the Tristana Tom Kench will be able to scale?
I think the Brand is definitely going to have his he's going to be able to poke early in the game, but if he gets a little too cocky, as Brands usually do, they get a little too pushed up on that Tom Kench, he would definitely be punished. And then Tom Kench is going to have the ability to be able to not only lock down the enemy, but also lock down his own team and make sure that they don't die. So it's definitely going to be in the early few minutes what's really going to be the potential between the two.
Yep, as we do load on in, looking at both these team comps, who do you think is going to pick up this victory? Is it going to be Illinois, Chicago, or will it be Wisconsin?
I feel like both teams have decent comps, but I feel like in the beginning, Illinois is going to have that advantage with everything. They're definitely not going to give away, but if Illinois lets it get to a little bit too much of the late game, I feel like Chicago is going to be able to pull it out because their comp is really built towards mid to late game, while Illinois is still more towards early game.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to see how it goes. As I feel like Illinois can pull this one out. They have that more of an early game bot lane, but this game really does revolve around bot lane and what they're going to be able to do. Whichever one can get scaling will get them going, and we'll have to see how it goes.
Yep, and so now what we have to be careful of is that everybody here has their own position to play. And one thing I noticed last night, and it's going to probably always be noticeable, is that communication is going to be key, right? You always want to make sure that your team is always together, because one problem is once people start not communicating, they're not going to be able to actually stay together, and they're going to start just feeding, and they're going to get picked off. And once they start getting picked off, the enemy team is going to be able to just start running the ball. Like last night, I made the reference. It's kind of like Indiana Jones. If you see the giant ball coming down, you got to get out of the way, because if you don't get out of the way, you're just going to get crushed. And just like these teams, they need to be careful. They got to watch what they're doing, and they can't get over. It's achieved for this. So now we have the game. We're starting off right off the bat. We have the simple ways. Everyone's going around and being in defensive positions. And up in the top river, you see that the red team, which is representative of, I believe, Wisconsin, they're getting them into this more offensive positions up in the top river lane. They're definitely looking out to see if any chance that they might be able to get an early pick on this Maokai. Maybe Gragas is up there. He definitely took a little bit of damage. It seems he's backing off. He's going to be coming back to lane. He seems like that both the Wisconsin's going to be starting up at the top jungle. Nunu seems to be actually maybe starting by the Raptor camp. Now he's actually moving down towards down to the bot lane for the blue buff, which is actually understandable because Nunu needs that blue buff to give that mana and be able to keep the sustain. While Gragas is going to be actually going down towards the red side, and he's going to be, he's going to be starting at his blue buff as well. Both of them are mana dependent champions, and therefore they need to have that ability. So now here we go. Everyone's starting their farm. Everyone's getting everything started off in the bat. We don't really know what's going to be happening too much. It seems like the bot lane's actually trying to set up on the blue side. They're going to be trying to set up to see if they can get some of the... So you see, they try to get some early damage off, and that's understandable. They're trying to get them as much poke off as starting as possible. That allows them to get that little bit early game advantage. It allows them to be able to farm a little safer. And you see the brand, just like I said before, is going to keep nailing away back and back again. He's got the poke damage, and he's just going to keep hitting it because that's basically what brand support does at this point. Now we see at the mid lane, we have Galio, and he's right now fighting off with the Orianna. They're doing damage here and there, but everything's going pretty well. Back to the bot lane, we have see the Tristana's lost almost half of her health now. That's probably from the brand alone, and it's just crazy with the damage of this. But then again, it's just an early game jungle, early game bot lane. They're going to be doing the most damage now, and as mid to late game comes, unless they get a giant lead, they're going to be actually starting to fall off somewhat. So here we got Gnar on the top lane. He's starting to go into his Mega Gnar. He's going to maybe try to make a move on Maokai, or at least get more of that farm and not feel as scared to get it as much as they used to. That Tristana is getting awfully low right now, though, and you guys got to be very careful. It gets too much lower. That Varus is going to be able to pop him like a cherry. It's going to pop with one of his arrows. It's going to be crazy. There we go. We have Tom Kench doing his damage towards the brand, and here we go at the top lane. We have a gank coming in from the Nunu, but he's not able to connect fully with that yet. So now we're back down to the bot lane. We're seeing what's happening. You see the brand keeps popping them with that, and it's just going to be crazy. And what they should be doing is not probably pushing up as much as they want. I understand the pressure that they're giving right now, but it's not going to help out as much due to the fact that the more they keep pressuring that, the more they're going to give the opportunity for the enemy jungle to come down to bot and say hello. Here we go. We had Gnar popping off Maokai here, doing damage, and he's going to try to proc his 3-hit W every time, try to get that extra damage. While especially if he's not in the Mega Gnar form, it's going to be insanely helpful when laning against Maokai. All right, now let's see. Mid lane, Galio is definitely feeling the wrath of Orianna right now. Ori is definitely showing why she is the superior one in lane or early games. She's poking him down, be able to make him have to back already at such early time. 4 minutes already in, they have to back off, and it's understandable why he's going to do this. He wants to play it safe. He doesn't want to feed early, and it seems like everyone's just going to be farming up safely right now, and everyone's going to be trying to make sure that they don't give away kills to the enemy team. The second one person gets a kill, it just starts tipping in their favor. This Varus is pushing up very heavily on the blue side. They're pushing extremely close to this turret right now. And it's insanely interesting to be doing this because I guess they must know that the Nunu was top. I don't think they saw much up there. Nunu's definitely moving down towards the bot lane to see if they can help out the bot lane and try to figure out if there's any way they can get some gank off, they get some kill and help the Tristana not get as bullied as much by this Brand Varus combo. And we got some pings here in the jungle. They're saying that there's vision down here. He noticed the vision, so the gank's not going to be as well as timed as they thought it would be, but at least now that they have no the blue side doesn't have as much vision as they used to. So this will definitely help with the pushing. I feel like the Varus and Brand are going to have to be a lot more careful now. They don't have the vision, so that means they're not going to be able to do as much as they were able to do previously and be able to keep pushing up like that. Nunu's definitely being spotted in the jungle doing what he does best. He's going to be there, try to counter jungle. He's going to try to get as much from, he's going to try to steal as much from Gragas as possible to try to put him under level and under gold. He's definitely clearing that vision, which is indeed a very important thing to do. When you're blind, you can't act as much, and you have to put a lot of uncertainty into the action. And once you put uncertainty into the action, flaws will be made. So here we go. We got the bot lane. Keep pressuring it up. It seems like Tristana and Tahm Kench are starting to heal up a little bit more. And now they'll be trying to keep getting this, but same over that Brand just keeps dealing more and more damage. He's trying to hit that 3 prep proc where it gets into that extra more damage. And once he gets that proc off, it might spell doom for the enemy team. Meganar, there he goes, he got his ult, he went and nailed hit Garrus, he gets from the stun, now he's going to throw the clock right into him, he keeps hitting him. He doesn't have enough damage just yet to finish him off, but he's definitely showing, asserting his damage, that he's the one that deserves to be in this lane, and he's the one that's going to be telling you when and where they're going to fight. While on the opposite side of the spectrum, we got bot lane just getting pushed underneath the turret again by this Varus and Brand, because the combo of those two are just going to keep nailing them. They're not going to be able to do anything here at all. So here we go. We see Orianna and Grog is actually moving behind Galio right now, and that's crazy. They're actually invading the jungle a little harder than expected, but they're getting caution pinged by the red team that they're indicating that the blue team is actually in their jungle extremely deep. Grog is trying to do a little bit more counter jungling to stop this Nunu from fighting, but it seems like he's going to be backing off, which is the safer move to do here in this thing. And it seems like Tahm Kench and Tristana are going to back for now to get their health back, and so they're not going to have to worry about too much. So, Justin, what are you thinking about the match so far? Do you think this is working out too well? Do you think that there's been a lot of pressure from the blue side more than the red side? What's your take on this?
Well, I just got back. My internet crashed. Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah. Well, it seems like you were never gone. You're back again. So let's see what you got. What do you got on this match as you're coming back in?
I'm still loading into the.
Still loading in. All right. Well, then let me keep going about this. We have a giant team fight going on, and it seems like Galio just dropped Brand, coming in with that great righteous ult, and it seems like Orianna's flashed in to get that ult, but then there was a double flash from Tahm Kench and Tristana to get away from it. It seems like Ori made that grave mistake. She was going in for that kill, but instead it's going to be the one getting killed. There's a clockwork to stop any damage, but I think this is spelling her doom. Actually, she's getting away with and the Galio's going to lock her down. Oh well, but Varus was able to come back and clean up the Tahm Kench, and it seems like he's going to be going for more blood. He wants to try to get this Nunu, which definitely flashes in. Then the Galio flashes in for him, and he's doing his full combo. He's a Q and E combo, but he's not going to be able to finish it off, nor is Varus, so it seems like they're going to walk away both half health and half mana. So now we have it back to normal. We're going 2-2, about even goal still. So it seems like everybody equaled out in the end. Everyone dropping their summoners, and they're now going to be trying to see if they're going to be able. The bot lane's actually going to be pushing mid now to try to get the minion wave underneath the turn. It seems like everybody's going to back and restart. Maokai is doing a little bit of counter jungling, getting some vision in the top lane for the red side, so that they are able to see if when. Oh, it seems we have a game pause here. Well, we paused here for a little bit. Seemed like someone had an error or something in a way.
All right, so you're paused at 8:16 as well. I guess that works perfectly.
Yeah, right here, paused. How about we talk about our days? How was your day going, Justin?
My day right now, it's been decent. I've lost like 7 solo queue games in a row. I'm a little tilted.
Oof, yeah, that's rough.
It's okay. You play solo queue, you cry a little bit. It's okay. It's just the average day. But looking at this game as well, from what I missed, apparently, Varus is up about 20 CS on whereas Osama, and that's exactly what he needed to do, or the bot lane needed to do to get in this lead. And it looks like they're playing pretty well, but on the other side, Mirigor's 2-0 in that Galio, and if he is able to get some AP going and get that Leandri's Torment, he could get pretty big as well.
Yeah, you definitely got to be careful. If Galio gets big, his damage and his just insane tankiness will start overtaking this game, and he will become a force to be reckoned with. It's almost like a Fed Jax low in the bronze queue. It just starts just annihilating the team, so you definitely got to be careful. They don't want to feed any more kills to that Galio.
Yeah, do have to be really careful about that, but that is going to be the unpause and instantly rocket jumping away from Imperial Trinity, whereas Osama is going to escape, taking a tower shot for his troubles.
And so now you can see Nunu's coming in to try to take his red buff, but it has been warded by the top Maokai from Chicago. They're going to be having that. He's great job by blind. He's understanding that Nunu's going to be moving. He's understanding the pattern of the jungle. He's trying to help his jungle out by saying, hey, Nunu's up here. Don't worry, he's not counter jungling yet, but just be careful. He might be coming in towards your jungle soon.
Z and Delta getting to trade back and forth with the blind nerd, doing a little bit of damage, but he's going to go into that twisted advance, and big Meganar ultimate going to come out, not going to be followed up. Doesn't nearly have enough damage.
Yep, and now we have Gragas down to the bot lane. He's going to be grabbing his red buff, and he's going to be moving towards mid. Oriana and both Chicago and Illinois are just showing that their pings are on point. They're always communicating, showing that communication is key. And just like I was saying before, you need to make sure you communicate, or you're going to start being unable to read the enemy, and the enemy's going to be able to pick you off from wherever you are if you get picked off by yourself, and you don't want that to happen, because that's how games start to snowball.
I love Thigh is just going to wander on in, and Pink Ward is going to get dropped in that bush.
Yep, and now we have. It seems like Gragas is definitely trying to keep the Nunu out of his jungle. He's trying to show he's trying to be the dominant jungle in this scenario, trying to stay on this border, and he seems like he's going to be trying to set up for a gank here in the bot lane. And it seems like Osama and Teddy are understanding this a little bit more than what they see here. They see a Gragas here. Oriana's coming down the bot as well, so they're going to be trying to both have a giant gank. Seems like it's going to be a two.
It's going to be the teleport as well. There's the chain of corruption. He's going to be going in with the Justice Punch. The shield drawn is not going to connect. Just barely going to get out. Imperial Trinity continue the trade, but Feisty is there as well. Going to connect with another piercing arrow. Going to back on off. Could the shockwave come through? Not yet. Ultimate is still available. Halo of Arrows is going to come down. That's the shockwave, but the Justice Punch going to get him out. Absolute zero. Not going to do nearly enough.
Yeah, you definitely could see there that ideas were great there. The planning was perfect, but the execution was just off a little bit. Brand missed both his Q and his W, which would have been essential in getting at least one of them stunned down and getting that one way from getting that passive and then being able to ult them. So there was definitely some human error there, but in the end, the planning and the idea was there. It just needs a better execution on their part.
Yep, almost was there. Whereas Osama is walking right on up. He's going to rocket jump right on top of Demo's rather going to take a lot of damage, though he's going to get popped by Imperial Trinity. Teddy Eddie might not be in the best situation here. Hail of Arrows is not available just yet, and he is going to be trying to chase him down, trying to look for him, but just nearly out of mana. And that's going to be a kill down the bottom lane.
Yeah, but now we have
the Feisty might be caught out.
Yeah, it seems like it's Dungeon Rings for him. It seems like he moved the wrong way. He should have moved probably towards himself instead of going out that way. But in the end, there was nothing he could do. He didn't have a stopwatch anymore. He used that earlier in the fight. His summoner spells are down. He was just spelling his doom the second that all three of them were entering that lane.
And so now is gonna drop.
Yep.
And they are going to be looking for this bottom tower. It's getting punched out a little bit. About 1,000 gold lead in favor of the blue side at the moment. Clearing out these pink wards as well as Migor is looking to pick up that Abyssal Mask early.
Yeah, and that's going to be essential for Galio, because since he's always up in the face of the fight, he definitely wants to reduce as much of the magic resistance as they have possible, especially since the blue side is having such an insanely AP-sided comp, and it's definitely going to help in the long run. You see now the Nunu down in the jungle. He was trying to clear the Windrake out right now, doing what Nunu does best, healing up insanely amounts. But now we have a fight maybe slowly breaking out, but it doesn't seem like it's going to actually prevail as much as they thought. Here we go. Everyone's going to be now just farming up, which is what they usually do in these lanes. But
ooh, there's the Chain of Corruption, but he's able to actually buffer that rocket jump in time and able to get out. Teddy Eddie, of course, using the Devour as well. The flash forward from Imperial Trinity to try and look for the stun doesn't get the Pyroclasm out in time.
Yeah, so now there's definitely red pings in the jungle trying to that the blue team is coming slowly towards the bot lane. And so instead of bot backing off, they're actually going to be setting up and seeing, hey, are they going to maybe take this bait of us being down here and get a free kill? Or if they're going to just back off, it seems like Nunu's already decided to back off. Brad is going to be trying to do some damage off into Tom Kench, but not even availing too much with that.
There you go. Z and Delta is going to be going forward onto the line nerd, doing a little bit more damage. Hail of Arrows going to poke him down just a little bit more as well. With the most on the other side, the Johnson is here, and that's a lot of damage connecting. Hannity looking for a casket, trying to push him right back in. Not going to get off in time.
Yeah, just like the beginning of this game to mid game, this Brand just keeps doing more and more poke damage, and that's what's going to be in the distinct factor in some of these fights is how much health they start out with. And Brand's definitely going to help bring the health of the enemy team a lot lower than they actually would want it to be.
And of course, with that Pyroclasm in his ultimate, had to so much damage. Being able to bounce off of multiple targets, and if you're able to hit some of these squishies, and mainly just where's Osama, if he's able to poke him and push him out of the fight, that's huge for the blue side.
Definitely. Hey, so what I'm wondering here is why is Tom Kench not ulting as much? That's the big thing I'm seeing here. He seems to be separating away from Tristan, and I feel like he definitely could have ulted more to try to engage instead of doing this solo thing. You see him right now, he's actually going a little deep into the enemy jungle, which is very surprising.
Yeah, that Abyssal Voyage has great gank potential into everyone. You can take, someone with you. That's going to be the Tongue Lash connecting mid. Maiger going to go with that Just Punch Shield. Durant going to come out as well, but the taunt comes through. Oh, Shockwave not going to connect those. And Delta walking up. Imperial Trinity. That's always going to go down. Chain of Corruption picks up the kill pretty freely. An overextended Gnar.
Yeah, it was definitely, Gnar should have been watching, and he should have been more aware of how many people were where and who had their ults up. And second, Varus has his ult. You should definitely not want to fight him solo, because even if you try to run away, there is no running away when he gets it.
He is huge right now. 3-0-1 has that Rage Blade clear, as well as the Ninja Hobbies. They're rotating around the map perfectly right now, setting their bot lane top and looking for this next tower.
Yeah, Wisconsin definitely seems to be lacking a little bit in communication-wise. They don't seem to be all as together as Chicago's being right now, and it's definitely coming towards their demise here.
Ooh, that's a lot of damage going down. I love Dice. He's hurting just a little bit. That Rage Blade proc is going to come through, and D knows it's going to be looking for this tower. He should be able to pick it up in time with no teleport available from the Gnar. Galio holding on to his as well. They're going to continue to clear out the mid wave.
Yes, and now we see that blue side, which is the Chicago, is pushing extremely heavily into the top jungle here. They're going to be seeing if they're going to be able to make any plays right now.
Oh, he's walking up. That casket is available. Going to flash away for the time being. There's the rogue entrance as well. Going to knock up one on the other side, but Feisty picks up one for the time being. No Shockwave is available. No ultimates. Going to get a little bit of a slow, but I don't think it's going to matter. Or maybe it will. The Pyroclasm is not going to come out, but the passive drops him down. Demost is going to get a kill right there, and they're going to be continuing to shove. They didn't even have the blind nerd because he's mid lane, and they might rotate mid and look for this next tower.
Yeah, Gnar was definitely at the loss there. He was nowhere near his Mega Gnar, and if it was near his Mega Gnar, there could have been a complete other different situation. But without the Mega Gnar, he doesn't have any access to his ult or his stun, and he's just there to take it for the ride. Now we see they're taking down the mid turret. They're going to be trying to take this here in one swing push, but you have Gragas is coming up through the back, making sure that nobody's going to try any funny business. Tristana and Tom are just going to have to stand there and watch it as it goes down, because they really just have nothing. They don't have the damage numbers that they want probably to be able to fight them.
Yeah, continuing to try and farm. Really, they need to try and sit back and scale. This Tristana needs to get big. But there's so much pick potential. There's so much engage coming out of the blue side here. The casket, the shockwave, the chain of corruption. There's just too much, and really, it seems like they're not able to deal with it in match and macro play either.
Yeah, definitely the CC side for the Chicago is extremely strong. They can lock down the enemy team with ease at range at any time, while Wisconsin's having a little bit more difficulty with that CC because it's a lot more setup based. Nunu, you need to sit there a little bit to ult. Galio, you have to wait them to be able to actually someone to get in there, and really the only person that could actually get in there is Gnar. So unless Gnar gets into his flip and gets into Mega Gnar, Galio's really difficult to use his ult for more of offensive tactics.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to use that heroic entrance very, very offensively rather. Whereas Osama, when you are that behind, my gory clear now. Wards are continuing to try and regain some pressure, try and regain some ward control, but they're not able to do it. Gonna drop a pink and spot out another ward, take that one down. Get spotted out, and their own jungle is completely ward. The blind nerd actually gonna go right onto whereas Osama, doing so much damage with that aftershock. He's gonna force the rocket jump.
Yeah, and now here we go. We have Demost, and you got Imperial Trinity trying to knock down that mid turret, trying to give that more and more pressure, slowly taking this ARAM style and not wanting to give up at all and let them take any other pressure from them.
Chain of Corruption is available as well, and of course he's getting these Guinsoo stacks on the minions, so it's not like he's going in without the 6 Guinsoos, because he will go in and he will pop people with the hail of arrows into that Chain of Corruption. or sorry, other way around, but so much damage, and they're just going to be turning on this Cloudjack and should be able to pick it up fairly freely.
So there's one thing I'm wondering. Since everything has calmed down a little bit here, we are grabbing that Windrake. Do you think they should be using Hextech Flash in this? I feel like Hextech Flash is a great thing. I feel like the Nunu could probably actually benefit from a Hextech Flash due to the fact that he would be able to actually get into certain areas on his own and then be able to ult without them being able to understand where they came from, especially if his Flash was down. But what's your opinion on that?
I feel like there is something like you could do with it, but it's not the most safe option. It's such an aggressive, it's such like a 50-50 thing that it's not worth it taking it at the end. Eddie, you might have a dive here in the bottom. Shane Corruption is going to connect, but that's an heroic entrance coming through. Casket's going to push 2 back into him, but the Shield of Duran is going to come through. That's a flash forward. I love Dice. Oh, that's a shockwave as well. They're staying alive for the time being, trying to kite out, trying to do what they can, but Demos is on the run. That's a 2-man body slam, but ZN Delta is there, and he is about to go mega. That's going to be 3 into the wall, and he is alive, and he is popping off. Tongue Lash gonna connect, gonna finish him off, but that is continuing to go in. The Blind Nerd gonna go in with that twisted. Ooh, that was a lot.
You're getting really hyper there, and I understand why. There was a lot of things happening there. Everyone being able to work it, especially that Gnar flip into the ult was extremely helpful to the team, and that's probably why they came out on top in the end for that fight. But even though they came out on top of that for that fight, they were still lost a couple members in there, and especially they lost Varus, which was one of the carries there, and so it was a kind of an equal trading field. But I feel like that Wisconsin was the one that actually came out on top on that end of there.
Yeah, usually when you're behind, taking even trades, that's exactly what you want to do. But when you're ahead, you have to remember you don't want those even trades. That's not what's going to keep you ahead. And you need to look for some of these more objective-based things. Whereas Osama was able to chunk out that mid turret as well.
Yeah, it's definitely impressive that they're coming back. They're definitely showing that their mid to late game comp is going to be starting to outshine the poke comp that Chicago has been playing so far. So it's transitioning. You can slowly see that the gold is still a little higher for the Chicago side, about 6K bigger. But one big team fight can completely change it all, and it can put it back into Wisconsin's favors.
Yep, definitely can happen. You had leaving the Shisana alone, and she's continuing to farm into this Varus. Demos is walking up just a little bit too far. That Wit's End is going to be completed for him as well. Shield of Duran going to come out, not going to connect the taunt on anyone, just backing off. But look at that damage coming out of the Varus with the Gwinzus, with the hail of arrows. He's just walking up way too aggressively, taking way too much free poke, and getting chunked out for it.
Definitely. And now you see that the most of the team for Chicago are now pushing this mid turret, finishing it off, and they're going to be now into the outer shell of the enemy red team's base, and they're now going to be seems like transitioning towards Baron to try to finish off this game and try to get one step closer to getting enemy nexus.
And they are going to be moving slowly on in. That is one inner turret remaining for them, and they are looking for this Fnatic death push, but I think they're standing on a ward, and they know they're there.
They definitely had a pink ward there, but I feel like they had that feeling that there was definitely something fishy right there. The Tom Kemp was like, I know fish, I'm a fish. There's something fishy there. So they were definitely being careful, which is great. I love to see it when teams can feel and pick up on like a simple, silly tactic like that. It can be devastating when one or two teammates don't notice it. So it was great communication for Wisconsin to say, hey, don't go over there, we're gonna die.
Continuing to play safe is exactly what they need to do. They need to try and sit back and scale. And really, that's what they're doing. Einstein is going to take a little bit of damage here from that brand combo, but not nearly enough to kill him. Going to chunk him out to about half. And D-Moss is going to be walking up, going to eat the Tongue Lash, just take a little bit more poke damage as Wisconsin is trying to regain some of this vision around Baron.
And now if we check down in the bot lane, Galio's actually doing a little bit of split pushing, and that's going to help in the outrun. Because if you notice, the objectives is what wins games. And right now, Wisconsin does not have any objectives. They barely have the mid turret down. They have top at least, but they don't have much of bot. And sadly for Wisconsin, their base is crumbling slowly but steadily. So if they don't start focusing on these objectives more and being able to try to take more of the offensive side, Chicago's just going to keep steamrolling and just going to be they're going to completely flatten out Wisconsin by the end of this.
Yeah, it looks like they are. Looks like they are going to be looking in for this middle tower, continuing to look to siege. But there is that bot wave coming in. Illinois is trying to stay alive in this one. Illinois Chicago, rather.
Yeah, they're definitely at this like kind of like passive stalemate right now, where one team wants to initiate the other team, but you never know who's gonna do what. Is the Maokai gonna go in on the Tristana? Is the Gnar gonna bounce on the Varg? And it seems like something's gonna be breaking out right now.
That's the frozen mount. That's the flash forward. That's gonna be the chain of corruption coming through as well. Tristana is jumping right in. Not too sure about that one. She actually might go down to that. Yes, she is. Whereas Osama is picking up that kill. The blind nerd is on the run. That's 1 HP on the tower. They just need to hit that real quick. Finish it off. Flashing forward. The Mega Gnar right back into him. And whereas Osama is there. There's the Pyroclasm though. Infernal Trinity is trying to do what he can. He's going to go for the casket, going to now push 3 backwards. Not going to get enough. Oriana is on her way, but she's not able to do too much, and they're going to be trying to turn around for this Baron.
That was a very worth it play right there. I think the Tom Kench and the Gnar had perfect synergy. They understood each other. They knew what they needed to do, and they get in there. And the Gnar ulted that Maokai back into them, and they were able to get clean 2 kills, and that means that's less map pressure for them. And they're able to now go and focus more on objectives and be able to do what they're lacking in and get more towers.
Yeah, really, really good fight here for Wisconsin-Madison. They are just trying to turn this game. What gold lead was about 6K is Imperial Trinity. Is he gonna... Almost dies to the Baron there.
Yeah, how about talking about Baron? How do you like Baron's new costume? That's pretty nice.
Yeah, he's got a nice little costume. I like it. I feel like he could win a cosplay competition with that.
Oh yeah, I want to see cosplays of him now. I want to see that costume of a cosplay, maybe.
Have people dressed up as Baron before?
I feel like maybe Sexy Baron is definitely a Rule 34 thing. I can't tell you if I've ever looked it up or not, but I definitely feel like there's definitely something out there, and I definitely feel like somebody has maybe attempted it. Definitely has tentacles. I'm just gonna say that. I'm not gonna say any more than that. But,
all right, we're gonna.
Yeah.
We're.
We're getting off topic here. Let's get back onto the Rift, where we see there's a little bit of interaction down in Dragon Jungle.
Ice is going to be walking up, taking a little bit of damage from Imperial Trinity. And continuing to clear out these wards. Continue. Sorry, it just keeps coming up in my mind now. You've got me screwed over. Boomerang going to get thrown out, not going to connect. Cloud Dragon is going to get started up. They're going to try and pull it out. Tristana and Varus both in the middle lane, though. And the positioning looks a lot better for Illinois Chicago at the moment, as they're going to have their ADC first, and they decided Wisconsin-Madison has to back off.
Yeah, it seems like they're definitely grouping up, so that means there's something big's going to happen. The Tristana's actually a little farther away than they probably want, and it seems like there's going to be an action right now happening.
There it is. Eye of Dice is going to get engaged on the casket is available. There's going to be the Chain of Corruption. Mega Gnar is coming in the back. Heroic entrance as well. Shockwave only get to connect on 1, but Mygar is going to go in. The Shield of Duran not going to connect. He's continuing to flash away for the time being. That's a bit Mega Gnar push him away for the time being. That's 1 kill over to Imperial Trinity with the Pyroclasm on the other side of the fight, and that was it.
Yeah, so I can definitely see what happened wrong there. Wisconsin was not ready for a fight, and Chicago was like saying, okay, we noticed that they're actually really spread out, and so they're going to take this opportunity to try to pick them off one by one, and it helped them a ton.
Yeah, that frog is going to get engaged on as well. Poor Teddy Eddie. Trying to stay alive, trying to do what he can. But I don't think he can get this kill here. Do you? This is brutal. This putting down the frog.
All right, and now it seems like the top lane will be pushing with the minion waves, and it seems like they'll be slowly cutting away the base. Luckily, so now everybody's resetting. It seems like they're starting to locate around Baron and trying to make sure everything is.
Gonna hand over this red buff to Osama as well. Sweepers are gonna come out and try and reclaim some vision around this Baron area.
Yep, and everything seems to be happening. They're going to be getting near that ward again, and it seems like that they're backing off, which I think is the safe bet. Not all of them are together, and they're going to need to be able to get regrouped again, and they're going to make sure everyone buys their items and be ready.
Life is going to run over to that wolf camp, continue to farm it up, getting as much gold as he possibly can, probably working towards that Knight's Vow for his AD carrier. Of course, continue to farm. The Feisty going to pick up this blue buff as well, allow him to spam his abilities a little bit more, as well as that CDR.
Yep, and it seems like with all his abilities, they're able to go and able to get these, and everything's going around.
And really, we should just expect to see a pretty big Baron fight fairly soon. That Baron is available. both top laners have teleport, and they're working their way down towards bottom lane. So we could see a double TP play, or we could see a 1v1 bottom, because I feel like this Gnar could look for the 1v1 on the blind nerd. You know, he has that Bramble Vest, but there is the Black Cleaver and the Frozen Mount, so that chase down potential is there, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. He's going in with the boomerang. ZN Delta is going right on it, but he goes right back in with the twisted advance as well. But over on top lane, Teddy Eddie might be caught, gonna flash away for the time being. Chain of Corruption was used in that fight, whereas Osama is gonna use that rocket jump to escape for the time being. Teddy Eddie might not be in a bad spot. He gets on himself out. Clearing out these wards, trying to do what they can as they do try and regain this Baron control. As we can just see the vision wards back and forth, back and forth. That's going to be the twist advance under the towers. Ian Delta might be in a little bit of a problem. No, it doesn't even matter. He's going to continue to get his hyper procs, continue to get the wall up, taking those autos on the tower, going to get the demolish proc as well. Teddy Eddie is going to continue to clear out these wards, so we can just see the vision wars continuing. Back and forth, back and forth. So satisfying seeing the minions die to Cinderhulk. Z and Delta almost getting canceled there, but not going to get canceled out. As both teams just continue to play this macro, they're continuing to farm up and trying to do what they can. Of course, we have Where's Osama on this Tristana, almost on his second Zeal item, rather. And as soon as he does pick up that 3-item power spike, it can be absolutely huge. Johnson is going to be going in, not going to connect with the body slam though. Thighs dropping some more wards around this Baron pit. No vision up far for the side, red side though.
Yeah, and it's definitely seeing that they're going to be getting back to the mid section again, trying to get this final push. They're trying to make sure that they don't want to let them get too much farm freely, and they definitely want to try to narrow down more on restricting that. And the vision is important, and you see that the blue side's got so much more vision than red side, and it's gone to show that when they go for this Baron, it's going to be the factor between who's going to be able to get it and who's going to be able to do what with it.
Give it to see how it goes. Migor is going to be picking up some items, has that late entries tournament, and Abyssal Mask, of course. That Bramble Vest is getting picked up for I Love Thighs as well. Not going to pick up that Knight's Vow just yet.
Yep, and it seems like the blue side's going to be actually invading a little bit, but I don't think they know, but they're sitting on top of a ward right now, and if they don't move from that section, they're going to be getting engaged on by that Tom, Kenshin, Galio, and Nunu.
Oh, they are trying to bush bait it in the ward pretty much. They know it's warded. The red side is playing back here and trying to play it safe as they can. Teddy Eddie, it looks like he might be getting engaged on here.
Yeah, and it seems like they'll be backing off. They're not wanting to fight against this on their terms. They want to be able to fight on their own terms. It seems like they'll be starting Baron as we speak.
They are starting up that Baron, and it looks like they're just trying to peel off. Vision has come through, and were able to blow the Nard teleport. Pyroclasm going to go into Teddy Eddie, doing a little bit more poke damage. Tongue Lash is not going to connect. The Blind Nerd is going to look to go in. He has that Knight's Vow. He does not have Righteous Glory, actually, at the moment, but that is going to be the teleport getting blown for Z and Delta here.
Yeah, and it seems like
chain of...
yeah, we both were impressed by that. As the Chain of Corruption went down, they were able to get that rocket jump. Osama's reaction time to the Chain of Corruption from Denounce.
We're going in. We're going to drain that shield to Ron. And that's going to be the Abyssal Voyage. That's the first time I think we've seen it this game. He's going to be looking up in the top lane, but the teleport coming through from the Blind Nerd on the other side. Z and Delta is going to get engaged on that. Wall up is actually going to get interrupted. Instant casket and hail of arrows to keep him alive, trying to slow him down, trying to chase him down a little bit, but the Chain of Corruption is not available, nor is the Pyroclasm, but we expect to see a decent shockwave from the Feisty. Was able to survive by blowing his flash that fight, and Migor is continuing to clear out some vision.
Yeah, now you can see that Wisconsin's going to come back, and they're going to start trying to clear out this vision that Chicago dropped, and they're going to now reverse the vision, and now have it up for themselves. Maybe set up for a Baron play, and with a Baron, they could definitely turn this game around. They're not too far away. They're about 5k gold from Illinois, from Chicago, but they definitely going to be able to do this if they take a Baron or if they win a giant team fight. It could be in either team's hands at this point.
Yeah, this game is really back and forth as we do approach pretty much the 35-minute mark. That next dragon will be the Elder, as an Infernal is secured for the red side.
Yeah, and it seems like that Chicago is going to now be setting up for the Baron play, but they are going to be doing this on top of both a red ward and another one. The TP is going to be coming into the Baron pit.
They are looking to turn. That's going to be a twisted advance, and as well as a chain of corruption, a 3-man shockwave, but they're going to delete the damage for the time being, and he's going in with a huge Mega Gnar 3 into the wall. That's a huge stun, and they're going to stay alive for the time being, but the casket, where's Osama, is stalled up for the time being. He's going to try and flash away, but it's not going to matter. That Gnar was incredible, but no follow-up from the rest of his team. Demoz is trying to get away. He's going to finish the kill with the Isle of Thighs, and that is going to run back over, and they're going to try and finish up this Baron. Teddy Eddie, where's Osama, trying to do what they can, trying to poke him down, but it's not going to matter. The blind nerd is sitting right there. He has that twisted advance, and he's going to look right under Osama if he goes in. That Baron is getting chunked down and is getting low, and it's gonna get finished up. Then Johnson gonna pick it up, and what an amazing fight for the blue side.
It was very intense at that moment, but if you see that the Gnar was probably the biggest play right there, as you said. He was able to get a 3-man stun into the wall, as well as then use his own built-in stun to be able to take them down. And with that much CC, Wisconsin was just not ready for it. They could not take that much CC at once. And since they're such an immobile type of play right here, they were just nowhere the way to get away, especially since all their summoner spells were basically down. And luckily, Tristana and Tom Kent were able to get away, but now they're going to have to deal with a Baron buffed mid, which can be one of the most devastating pushes in this game.
Yeah, that Baron buff is up. Of course, the inhibitors are still open, but you take this Baron to look to siege, to look to force fights without 40 AD and AP, and the Baron empowered minions, they're going to look for it.
Yeah, now they're going to be pushing down the mid. It seems like ARAM is the way to go. I love me some good ARAM, but this is definitely not like any of your ordinary ARAM. This is going to be just complete other siege. You ever play Rainbow Six Siege?
Played it a few times. I don't think this is much like Siege, though. Not gonna lie to you.
No, it's not. You know what? I was trying to make a comparison, but I can't think of one. So let's just go back to the Rift. We're gonna go back into this bot lane as they start to do the siege onto the bot tower. Luckily, Nuno was able to get his ult to try to clear the minion wave, and now Varus is gonna be tanking away with just these single giant siege minions in the back wave. This is what's gonna happen. They're gonna be able to still take down this tower and get the buff from the minions to be able to take the tower, to lose some of its defenses and be able to just take it down.
Yep, continuing to clear out these waves. Deficey's going to walk on up. That body slam is not going to connect. They get kited away, rather, for the time being. And this bot tower is getting chunked rather low. He's going to go in. The Shield of Duran is going to connect. The Chain of Corruption as well, but he's doing a lot of damage on the other side of the fight. That's Demore getting one kill already. That's going to be another one for the blue side, and they're looking for the dive. There's the Grasping Roots coming out, and they are just actually turning around for this tower. They don't care for the time being. Actually, never mind. I take that back, because Delta is on the run, and he's trying to do what he can, but Migor and Teddy Eddie are down. This is a 3v5, and they should be able to pick up this inhibitor and look mid lane.
Yeah, it was definitely... Tom Kent was definitely a fish out of water when he got caught by that. One of the big tanks have just dropped there. And without Tom Kent, Tristan's going to be a lot more careful. He's not going to be able to escape.
This is looks like could be another Demosed. Is taking some damage. That is going to be the rocket jump to get away for the time being. But you have these shields coming out of this Orianna, the Locket as well from the Gragas. Demosed is just unkillable right now. He's taking auto attacks back and forth, and whereas Osama is trying to hold the base, trying to do what he can, but it doesn't look like there's much he can do. Migor is up in 1 second. That Mega Gnar bar is going to get charged up. The blind nerd might go down here on the other side of the fight. Hyperproc almost going to come through. Going to be able to steal his life back. That's a 2-man shockwave for the other side. They're going forward. That's a nice Gnar into a heroic entrance. Going to only knock out the Johnson for the time being. It's going to get the Devour. Teddy Eddie is going to pick up a kill. Tongue Lash is going to connect on the other side of the fight. Migor likely is trying to do what he can. That's going to be the Abyssal Voyage. Teddy Eddie is going to eat up Meteor Gore and look to chase down that lane.
Yeah, you can see, like, every time someone gets Baron and they push so far into the enemy's base, they seem to overstate their stay. They needed to leave once they took in that inhibitor instead of trying to deal, and then that second tower, they should have just backed off after that, and they shouldn't have stayed so long. Because the second everybody spawned back in, they were able to come in and real quick clean up the kills, and since all of Chicago's summoner spells were down, they weren't going to be able to do any flat safely without losing a couple lives there.
Yeah, this game is looking brutal for the red side at the moment, as really they have this single Nexus tower left. That's all they can defend. Of course, there are still the 2 top towers and top inhibitor, but they can literally just run through that bot lane, through the mid lane, and look to finish it up.
Yeah, this is basically spelling their doom right now. It's like it's like they were trying their hardest and they were putting up a great fight, but they kept just losing too many small skirmishes in the beginning, and now they were losing these bigger skirmishes at the end. And with all these losses and slowly losing member after member in these fights, they're just giving away the game and not being able to keep the defense that they once had.
Something I want to note on real quick. I think this is the first time I've ever seen it, but Nunu has 103 vision score.
That's really good. That shows that the jungle is on top of his game. That's perfect. That's what you want to see with such a Nunu who's able to get into the counter jungle and be able to get in there with that vision. That's probably helping try to keep them to always have that edge on them and try to at least try to tie this up more than what it already is.
The Blind Nerd is continuing to farm back and forth. And a Miragor, for the time being, Chain of Corruption is not going to connect, and he is walking.
They're definitely setting up right now for this Inferno Drake that will be spawning soon. But for the most part, they're just getting all the wards out and just getting ready for this when it comes alive, which it has come now. And it's going to be the Elder Dragon with this double buff of the Elder Dragon.
Ooh, Justice Punch going to connect. The Blind Nerd is going to be going in as well, but he's going to get hit by the root by the Grasping. Shield of Duran connects as well. He's going to be looking to go in, but the Dragon on this other side gets secured. I can't say that's worth.
I don't know if for a chance, because right now they're shoving down the bot lane and being able to try to deal as much damage as quick. They're basically going for this finishing takedown, but instead they decided, yeah, they're right. It wasn't as worth as we thought it would be. And they're going to back and regroup and try to think of another strategy to try to take down this base.
With still over 30 seconds left on this Maokai, they're trying to cut out, trying to do what they can. Johnson is going to be walking away for the time being. Out of Thais and Miragor, continuing to clear out these super minions that are crashing into the base, as well as where is Osama? Got to hit that level 18.
Yep, and then this is the problem now with the Wisconsin. They're going to have to always be monitoring both their mid and bot lanes, since Chicago now just has basically 2 lanes that'll always be pushing until the inhibs come back. So now I think what they should do next is just get this top layer out and be able to get this last inhibitor, and that will basically give double siege minions to every single lane, and it'll basically be the end for Wisconsin here.
Yep, that Baron is coming up as well in 25 seconds. We'll see these teams most likely fight over it, but of course that Elder Dragon is in favor of the blue side at the moment. It's still not timed out. The only person it's not on is the Blind Nerd on Maokai. And of course, he's on Maokai. He really doesn't need the Elder Dragon to be that beneficial. It's huge on Demos near the Feisty, but it's not as big as on the Blind Nerd. And Teddy Eddie might be getting caught out here.
Yeah, you see, everyone's spread out right now, and it's not going to help if they're not together. As you can see, Chicago's staying together like they did most of the game. They're mostly grouped up and everything, while Wisconsin's here and there and everywhere, and they're not being able to do as much damage as they used to.
Yep. That Baron is going to get secured fairly easy by the Johnson, and they are going to be walking up. Of course, whereas Osama is going to finish his Blade of the Ruin King here, still actually doesn't have his QSS yet. He's really looking to shred these tanks as he isn't able to do much damage. This front line from the blue side is absolutely massive, and look at this. They're just running down top lane. Just melted that tower so quickly. That Elder Dragon is still on them for a few more seconds. The inhibitor has respawned. That's the Grasping Roots as well to do what they can, continuing to siege up this tower. It's going to drop, and it's going to get given. We're pretty freezy, and Delta trying to cut away, trying to do what he can. Chain of Corruption actually not going to connect on the other side. Shows around. The Blind Nerd is getting poked out just a little bit. That's the Absolute Zero going to get out of Pyroclasm as well. Heroic Entrance going to come through. Nar is not going to finish, and he is only going to get shot on 1, but that's a 3-man shockwave. That's a triple kill. Could this be the Penta? Going over to Demos. Yes, it will be. That's the Penta kill. He's going to pick up the game.
Penta kill.
Penta kill. Gonna go over to the blue team.
Kill. And it seems like it's just a celebration. Grog throws out his ult just to be in, and it seems like this will be the end. And that is basically what it comes down to. I feel that Wisconsin this entire time has not been communicating like they need to. They're not being able to set each other up. But Chicago, on the other hand, has great abilities to be able to synchronize their ults together in combo, to wombo combo them into CC hell. And so I think that's going to be it, guys. That's going to be the victory screen here.